to Bertha and Heidi and allow them to explain a bit more to you about Teamlabs.
Okay. I'm not a fan of this, but we'll make it. Good afternoon. Yes, we're Teamlabs. We are a lab of teams, basically. We're an educational company that started 4 years ago. We started, there was 4 of us, starting a team and starting a company immediately. We were 4 persons from different backgrounds, different profiles, different countries, different everything, but with a one specific purpose or one common concern or will. That it was like, the world is changing, it's changing really fast, and it's actually like companies are not changing fast enough, disciplines are not changing fast enough, projects are not changing fast enough, education is not changing fast enough, so we had that mission of like transforming education, like making the best university of the world. So we started like, what do we need for that? How can we gonna start doing this thing that we want to do? And then we went to Finland.
Okay, so in Finland there started like 23 years ago this radical innovation of education that is exactly making the education more focused on learner. So taking the students out of the classrooms and making them really work in the action, making them start their own companies in the very first days. So we start implementing the same methodology here because we want to change the education because it has to change. It cannot be the same still as it has been like many hundred years. So it has to change together with the world.
One of the things that added to that methodology that Finland was proposing, Teamlabs itself has the first team in this lab. We were determined to design a lab, to design an environment, to design a place, an ecosystem where we could learn faster, where we could actually like make diverse learning, learn from others, learn from other peers, learn from other projects. Try to say like in this like philosophy of always be learning, like. We were always like curious about other things, curious about other disciplines, curious about other companies and projects. So we wanted to like design an environment which is right now this, right, where you are right now, and your experience is the reality of Teamlabs right now. And it's a place where you can actually see that there's no gap between a learner and a person that is not learning, because we are all learners, because we are all entrepreneurs, basically. So this is a space in Madrid. This is the host for us in Madrid. This is the space that we have in Madrid where companies, entrepreneurs, people who start projects, people from outside, you guys who are visiting today, like professionals from other places in the world, come here and we can actually collect the learnings from them, from other experience, and from the actions that we do outside the spaces. Okay. So this is in Barcelona. We are actually in the MOB. It's also a creative community, so we are always surrounded by creative communities in which that we can learn from. And we are always taking the university out of the university, the programs that we have, to actually put them in real context with real companies. Okay? So basically, yeah, you are here. So this is like Yogi, who's the director of Media Labs, MIT. He's one of those persons who actually drop out of school, and he's one of those examples of like university can take you somewhere or cannot. So it's actually like he's one of the people that we look at to look at transforming education, basically. And he has this quote on, today the ability to learn on your own or from your peers has become really easy, and this change is leading to a fundamental disruption in education. Independence and lifelong learning are really starting to peak. Basically, that's what we do. We're all like responsible for our own learnings, and we are all like challenged to learn in these new surroundings that we're designing.
So what we then really have here, we have like different kind of levels of education and different educational programs. And also the important thing is that the knowledge can flow between these different programs, so we are all here in the same space. When we started, our first program was LANE, that we are co-creating with Mondragon University, and it's an official degree of leadership, innovation and entrepreneurship. Here the learners, they are studying in a university, but they are not students, they are teampreneurs. So they are, at the same time as they are studying, they are entrepreneurs. So they start their own company during the first weeks, and then the following 4 years, they are building projects, they are building the company in a real life. So they don't have anything like ready, they have to start from the scratch.
With the same philosophy, we have the Master Yourself. Master Yourself is a program of 12 months for professionals, people who actually want to reinvent their profiles and master themselves into this new learning process that they would make with a team throughout 12 months, through the project that they're going to launch, they're going to be learning, through the journeys that they're going to be doing, they're going to be learning. And through the pieces through the labs that we have. A lab is actually a piece of knowledge that we provide of 15 hours, and with those labs will be the knowledge, they will be feeding their projects with this content of knowledge that we're giving them. So those are the 3 types of learning programs that we actually manage in this sets of spaces. The Green, which is a graduate, the Master, which is a professional program, and then the labs, which are like pieces of those. So there's like, and all these programs, all that layer of learning that we are putting into this new community that was already recognized, no? That was already clear what it was, which were co-workers. Now we're adding these programs, and we're adding programs of people who are actually learning by doing, and they actually are doing projects in which they're learning. So we are building this team laboratory, a lab in which like the teams are the experimentations, in which the teams need to be doing, and they're actually diverse. They are working with people from companies, they're working from people from the outside, they're working from people from the masters, the university graduates, the companies here. Basically, that's the mix of all those in these spaces are what we are trying for designing. Right?
Like I told you, it's a reality since the very first moments. So they start by first weeks by calling the companies that, hey, can I come to visit, can I sell you my services, without even having services. So you really start from the scratch, as every other people who are starting their own company, with having maybe one idea, and then testing it, and then maybe failing, and then learning from your mistake, and then developing. So it's all about learning the mistakes and really trying to put yourself out there. We give you the safe environment, but you have to be the one taking the step out of it and really going with the world. Because the program is like this, you are kind of building your own learning path. That you can find the knowledge that you think is important. We provide you books, but you have the freedom to choose. Do you want to study more about marketing? If you are selling marketing to the customers, you will need this knowledge. So you are focusing more on marketing because you have to reach so you are able to deliver the services that you have been promised. So then you are able to find your own way. So we are not giving you like, first you have to study this, then you have to study this, but you are able and you have to find it. And there is a lot of freedom, but at the same time it comes to responsibility, because when you are in charge of your own learning, you cannot fake, because you are faking yourself. So you have to take the responsibility what you will learn and what you want to learn, and of course the team will take the responsibility of your learning too, because you cannot free ride in a team. You have the same goals, you have to invoice money, you have to go to customers. So even though you are working alone and individual, there is always people behind you. There are always people pushing you to go and find your learning process.
So in that learning path that you're building, you can actually certify yourself. Like, it would be for yourself to actually evaluate you and then certify yourself if you need to. Right? Going for other courses, like there's a certification in the degree, in the university degree. When you master yourself, you will be able to certify yourself in the batches that you accomplish, in the purpose that you the goals that you set, you certify yourself.
And we don't have teachers. We are probably the only business school as a network of Team Academy who really don't have teachers. Because we believe that we shouldn't be there in front of you telling you, you have to learn this and this is how you will learn it. So that's why we're having a team coaches. We don't have students, we have teampreneurs. We are learning from the peers and from the expert of certain. For example, if you want to learn about marketing, of course you invite a person who is working with marketing right now, who has the newest knowledge of that. Like you can see, we don't have classrooms. This is our classroom, this is our university. We don't have teaching, we have learning. We don't have teachers, we have team coaches. We don't have simulations, we don't make a business plan of your future company. No, we are doing business plans for the projects that they are doing right now. And we don't have control so much. We are believing on self-organization, that the learners, they can take the responsibility of their own learning and their own projects without us telling them what they have to do.
The beta spirit, I think you can see what it is here. We're in beta, and we are launching all the time. We are prototyping all the time. We're like doing all these terms that means beginning. It's an experimentation environment. It's a space that actually is fed by the urban environment. It's fed by the city and whatever happens in it. So whenever you do projects and you're doing it outside, you actually interact with the reality of what is outside, and then you bring the learning back here. The learning happens anywhere, and we want to be aware of that, and we want to bring them. So for that, we also have this learning journeys that are one of the basic ingredients of any of our learning programs. We go to Finland, back to the roots. We go to San Francisco, we go to Silicon Valley to see how they do it there, what's the culture there. We go to China and India to see what are those new economies that are raising. We go there and we do the same thing. We establish an office, we actually do projects, we interact with people, we create collaborations, we create new customers, and we identify the new reality. That we try to understand the new global economy. It's not new, it's global.
Yes, and like I told, we are originally from Finland, but besides that, we have a huge global network. So we are not just here in Spain, but as a Team Academy Learning Network and a community, we have units all around the world. I don't know how well you have seen it, but there is university programs running in Europe, in Spain, in England, in Hungary, in Holland, in Finland, of course. And besides that, there is pilots running, for example, now in Tanzania, that they are waiting to get an official degree out of it. There is also willingness to start in Mexico, in Peru, in Argentina, so it's really growing fast. Because people really find that this methodology is something that they want to implement. It's something that can be worth it, and it can really change the education. And why we are doing this, the key thing here is all about the team learning, how to learn as a team, because we believe that even if one person can be faster, the team always will go further.
And that we just want to invite you today after this small brief of who we are, where you are, and how we do things. We just wanted to invite you all join in that community. If you're today here, that's something that's a why already. So we want to invite you to this team, and then please come again, and we will definitely learn faster if you're a part of this. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Heidi and Bertha, who I thought would introduce themselves. But Bertha is a team coach, Heidi is a team coach and was a student in the Team Academy program in Finland. Bertha is one of the 4 founders of Teamlabs and a very powerful, I shouldn't say female entrepreneur because let's just call her an entrepreneur, shouldn't I? But an architect and an entrepreneur in her own right, with a long and storied history before she came to us. So I hope that you have an idea of what we're trying to accomplish here. Teamlabs, in few words, is a team learning accelerator built upon the personal experience and some decent scientific research, that peer-to-peer learning tends to happen somewhere a multiplier of 5 times faster than individual learning. And from the personal experience of everybody involved in the project, that companies can simply be a tool for learning, not simply, using simply twice, not just a way to make money, right? So with that in mind, we are now going to hear some presentations from our distinguished guests. And then we are going to hear presentations from our teampreneurs, from some of the members of our team, of our learning teams, our team companies. And you'll see, as you hear about what they're working on their projects, on the development, on where they are, and really what they seem to be looking to get out of them, that their status is going to be very different. Their level is going to be very different. Their development is going to be different, and it's going to be in different directions. And this is all the principle that self-organization is going to allow them to learn better, to learn more appropriately, and to learn more effectively what they need to do in order to actually live what we're hoping they learn. So, with all that said, I'd like to, well, you guys come on, sit up here, where it's comfortable in the spotlight. Yeah. So first, I'm going to hand this. First, we're going to hear from Adam Royalty, who is a, let's see if I can remember exactly what you told me, who is a lead design research investigator. Senior? Is senior in there?
Why not?
Sure. Senior lead design research investigator at Stanford's D.school, which I will let him tell you more about. So please give him a hand. We are really, really very honored to have him here.
I'm going to use the mic as long as I can, but I just want to warn the audience when I have a mic in my hand, it gives me the urge to sing, and trust me, nobody wants to hear me sing. So if I start, somebody in the front row rip it out of my hand. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the Stanford D.school. I'm going to give you a taste of it, and then I'm going to tell you why I think what we do is important. And then we'll pass it, and I'll pass it on. So just really quickly, the Stanford D.school is an entity at Stanford University. The first thing to know is it isn't actually a school because we don't give degrees. What we do is we teach classes and really allow people from all the schools at Stanford to come and work together on real problems, just like in Teamlabs. There are real problems from the start. But as it says here, what the D.school is really all about is it's all about creative confidence. The idea is to give our Stanford students, we do teacher workshops, we work with executives, is to help people get into, reintroduce them to the creativity that they may feel that they've lost. And we use design as a way to do that. So I could tell you about our design process, the mindsets, but I'd much rather have you experience them. So here's what we're going to try. And trust me, it only takes 7 minutes. I want everybody in the audience to find a partner. So I need you to pair up with somebody close by. You might have to move a little bit. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to find a partner. Okay, find it. 15 seconds. Find a partner. You're here to participate.
What should we do?
10 seconds.
I'm recording them.
5.
Oh, we can't speak.
4. 3, 2, 1. All right. So everyone's in pairs. I'm going to assume it's important to be in pairs. Great. So here's what we're going to do now. Right? I'm going to take you just through a 2-step design process. You are going to be designing for your partner. You're going to be designing for the person that you may have just met. That's great. That's fine. Here's the overall challenge. Right? And we're just going to focus on part 1. So there's going to be a partner A and a partner B, or in Spanish, a partner A and a partner B. I worked on that on a plane. Okay, so partner A is going to go first. Here's what your goal is. I want you to find something meaningful, something that your partner thinks is meaningful that he or she does not have enough time for, right? So, ¿cómo se dice meaningful? So I thought it might get important. So it's important is like, oh, making sure that the money gets transferred from your bank account to your credit card. Like that's important, right? Because you don't want to go over. I'm looking for something meaningful, like I want to connect with my father because we haven't spoken for 2 years. Is there a difference? So, I'm asking you to find something that's deeply emotional from this person that you may have just met. Okay? So I want you to find something meaningful that your partner does not have time to do, and I want you to find out why they don't have time to do it. So your big question here, your big tool is por qué, why, right? So you have 2 minutes, partner A, to interview partner B to find out something meaningful that they don't have enough time to do. And then I'll stop you in 2 minutes. Go.
Y últimamente como año y medio sin mojarse en la piscina. Sí, estoy intentando, a ver cuándo. No, seguramente sí, tengo que ahora ver si vas a ciertas horas me van a dar. Yo le digo, Juanado, pero debería explicarle a ver si además hay a veces que no estoy aquí, que me tengo que ir a Madrid y demás, no voy a dar cariño, ya me coge y cuando vuelva digo, mira, aquí tienes más cosas, ahora estoy aquí en el máster de soy
Keep digging down. Ask why. Why aren't they doing this? 1 minute now. So now we're going to switch. Partner A, try to figure out what partner A, what's meaningful to partner A that they don't have enough time to do, and why don't they have enough time to do it? Right? You're investigating. 2 minutes, partner B, interview partner A. Begin. I know, your partner is so interesting, you can talk forever, right? It's a new person. Okay, so that was the first step in our really small two-step design process. Here's the second step. Now, the first was, you were working kind of with one another, you were talking to each other. This next one is just for everyone to do individually. Everyone's doing this part individually. So you've got a bunch of information about your partner, right? Things that are meaningful. Maybe think about one thing that you found that was really meaningful, right? And think about the reasons why maybe she can't do those, right? And all I want you to do is I want you to come up with 2 ideas. Just ideas, not solutions, but just ideas that could help your partner do something meaningful, right? Do this meaningful thing. So you're coming up with 2 ideas to help your partner. I'm gonna have a constraint with each one. The first idea has to be completely free. The other idea is you can't spend any money on it. The second idea, you must, just for this idea, you must spend over 10 million euros. You have to spend that much money in order to come up with the idea. So I'm going to give you about 1.5 minutes, everyone individually, to think about 2 ideas for their partner. All right? Go. 2 ideas.
Only to yourself. If you happen to say it, that's okay, but the idea was to be just to yourself. I'm not going to stop I want you to share your ideas with your partner. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute or so. Each person share the 2 ideas you came up with your partner and get a little bit of feedback. Okay, so just take a minute and share what you came up with to help your partner. Go. Shake your partner's hand, high five. Okay. So we have to keep this moving. We gotta keep this rolling. Can I practice my teacher stare, we call it. It's a teacher stare. Does anybody want to share out maybe just one personal reflection of what that very quick 2-step process was like? Something they found surprising about that? Yes, please.
Very interesting. We both message the same thing. Which is spending time with our kids.
You sort of missing the same thing. So it's interesting. So it's we see that a lot. It's a very broad
topic, as they find something meaningful, and yet you start to see these patterns emerge, right? And that's something that when you do it for longer than 5 minutes, is something you really see. I appreciate you sharing that. So, cool. So, just to summarize, again, a really quick two-step design process. You did some need finding, or what we would call, at the D.school, we call empathy. You really understood how a person is experiencing a problem. Right? You didn't look at the logistics or the overall systems view, although those are great ways to look at problems. In this specific way, we're looking at how do people experience the problem. And then you came up with multiple ideas, and I would argue that that was a mini prototype. Right? You came up with 2 different ideas and got some sort of feedback from it, right? So, radical empathy and, deep empathy and radical prototyping, iteration, right? So if we had more time and had to come up with more ideas and continue to get feedback. That in essence is what we teach our students, and we do it over a longer period of time. So we'll do a 10-week course on education where they're doing basically what you just did, but they're trying to figure out how do we retain our best teachers. A lot of teachers in the United States quit, especially if they're working in underprivileged schools. There's another class that looks at developing, that looks at designing tools and services for developing countries. Same thing. They start by going into the countries and understanding what problems people face, and prototyping, developing a lot of solutions, and testing that over and over again. Again, I mentioned when I started that the D.school is really about creative confidence, and there's a lot of ways to develop your creativity. My undergrad was math. I know a lot of math people who are incredibly creative. What we found is that design is a particularly interesting and inclusive way that anybody can use to develop their creative capacity. I mean, I didn't know the background of anybody in this room, and yet I knew you could interview somebody and come up with some ideas. So that's at the core what the D.school does. What I do specifically is I look at what happens when somebody comes into the D.school, something happens, they go through some experience, and they go out into the world and have some kind of an impact. Because I'm curious about, you guys got maybe a little spark, you maybe rediscovered some creativity. I actually feel, everyone's creative. There's a lot of creative people who have a high creative confidence here, but maybe somebody here said, oh, actually I'm a little bit more creative than I thought. What happens when you leave the building, right? That's what I look at. And this is a lot of words I'm not going to go through, but I look at how do students, when they develop this internal sense of this belief in themselves that I can be creative, how does that internal self-efficacy, how does that turn into agency? How do they start to act with their creativity? And then what's the output? What do they actually create and make because they're acting and behaving in a creative way? And what impact does that then have on their society, their network? So that's essentially what I'm looking at. Because I believe that creativity starts with individual people. It starts, and we create innovators, and those innovators create innovations. And the last thing I want to leave you with is one of the reasons why I was drawn to Teamlabs is in this space of you all. It's because I believe that education is in serious need of a shift or a rebuild, and I want to echo this idea of learning by doing. Right? Again, I could have told you about our process, but I forced you to actually experience it in a small way. And to be honest, I kind of hope some people were a little bit uncomfortable, because I believe that discomfort leads to growth and leads you to be surprised in yourself, provided that we can use a process like design to leverage that discomfort and use design to help people be surprised in what they can create in their own creativity. Anyway, so thank you for indulging me in going through the exercise, and it's again super exciting to be here. I look forward to the next speaker, and especially to the student teams. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam, and in order to keep the ball rolling as quickly as possible, I will just say that coming up on deck is Iñaki Arrola. Still doesn't sound right, does it? I'm an investor and an entrepreneur from Spain, and I'll let you do the rest of the introduction.
Thank you. I'm not going to use this because I was thinking all the time that when I go to this kind of places where people come to listen to people, is what do you guys expect from me? Because sometimes what I feel is that we come to these events to try to learn things that probably cannot be learned. And I always say that you'll learn more about those bad things. So I always try to tell the bad things of my history, because good things of the history probably do not get repeated, and probably are a matter of luck and not a matter of if I'm smart or whatever. So what I'm going to do is just tell you a little bit about my life, but only telling you guys what you should not do as I did. Okay, so I'm kind of strict with that, and I also hate to try to have like some morally and people telling you that what you should do. Well, whatever. I started my company without a business plan. I don't know if you need to do a business plan without money, with my father, with my cousin, and with a friend, without a shareholder agreement, which you should do. So first, please do not start companies with your family and with your friends, because my father and my cousin got mad with my friend. I lost my friend, and we didn't have a shareholder agreement, so everybody was mad. And the company, which I did not start because I only invested in it, was a company that I had to follow on with all them mad between each other. So first, don't do as I did. If you start your company, if you need money, please don't involve your family, and if you need to, please write everything. This should be as famous people that when they start, when they get married, like they write what is going to happen when they divorce. So please do. If you start a tech company, you should not do as me, because I started without technical people, and you should do that. You should start with technical people on board. I don't know how, because I know that this is a matter of money, and sometimes money is scarce, but you need to have technical people on board, and maybe a co-founder. So don't do as I did. So please start with a co-founder, and with a technical co-founder. You should. Another thing I did wrong is that I didn't. First, at the beginning, we didn't focus on our users. We just focused on making money, and this is a super big error, and you should not do as I did. So please try to focus on that. After that, we learned that is the way, and probably that's a long-term view way, and probably we're not used of that. We want to appear on TechCrunch and things like that, but that is kind of bullshit. So another error I did is not taking care of the amount of money you got on cash. And cash is king, and you should not risk your life with your startup. So please don't do as I do. And you need to have the money to close the company if the company is not going right. And I did it, and things didn't go wrong, but could have gone wrong. And as you know, in Spain, Spaniards around should know that Spain is not a nice country to have a company and to have debts around, because they will go against you and all your family and whatever. So please don't do as I did. This is some of the bad things I did as an entrepreneur. And after that, I think, even though I did so many things wrong, maybe because of luck, or maybe because I tried things, or maybe because I worked a lot, things began happening around at my company, which in fact is coches.com, which is like cars.com, but not as big, of course, because we're only in Spain. We are car classified business, where dealers pay us a monthly fee to advertise the cars. That's the super technical and innovative idea we got. And after that, as my wife allows me permanently to do stupid things, she allowed me to start investing on other people's companies. And the first thing I did wrong as an investor, as a business angel, which you guys probably know that it's an expensive hobby or whatever, not business word you want to use, is that I thought that I would be a really smart investor trying to analyze the company and not trying to analyze the person I was investing on. And the nice moment was the first investment I did. And the bad thing is that I asked my wife if the investment was, well, I didn't ask her if it was a nice investment, but I had the bad idea to go to have dinner with my wife or with the entrepreneur I was going to invest on and with his wife, because we had like kind of a similar life. We had several kids. My wife and his wife didn't work at the evenings because we thought that somebody should take care of the kids. We were both in the internet business, and I was going to invest 20K on his company, and so we decided to have dinner and to celebrate that I was going to invest in the company. And the fact is that after dinner, my wife told me, hey, I don't know anything about the internet, about acquisition costs, about possible exits, about anything, but this guy is going to cheat you, he's not a straight guy. And the fact is he did. And I thought this was another one of my errors, is that I thought that I could analyze an opportunity of investment without analyzing the guy I was going to invest in. So from that day, I started investing on people and not investing on ideas, because we investors don't know anything about investing. This is why we disseminate all our money, and we do not invest all our money in making your company, and we invest in you guys because you guys are smarter as we are. And let's say like the last, but of course not the least, because I make a lot of errors every day, is that it's kind of hard to be an investor. I know you guys probably think, oh well, you are a shark and this is like, and this is not real, because the real bad part is to be an entrepreneur. But it's kind of hard to say no a lot of times to entrepreneurs. But if you should not be as me, and you should not support companies that are not going on a nice pace. So don't do as I did. And if you're investing on companies, on internet companies or whatever companies, if the company is not growing nicely, what you should do is try to tell the guy to close the company and not try to support him if he's not going to make it. So don't do as I did, and that's about it. So like the moral thing, and what I want to tell you is that probably after this talk, what you feel is that you should not start a startup, you should not whatever. And I'm not saying that. What I want to tell you guys is that this is not easy. Raising a startup is a really difficult sport. It's a really, you can even die with that. You can lose even your family. You can do bad things. The fact is that I'm not saying you should not do that, but what I really hate is you guys wanted to only go into places to learn nice things. So what I want to tell you guys is that please do raise your startup, but don't feel that this is going to be easy. Just try to fight, try to help them, but please don't go against you guys and don't do as many things as I've done wrong. So this is it.
This is amazing. So now I'm going to bring up Iñaki, who is one of our learners, the walk-in team first, to introduce the other team members who are going to talk about their projects.
Thank you very much. Hi, good evening everyone. Now we're going to start with some pitches from learners from our team company. So first one is going to be Sarah from SAI. So please welcome.
So, hi everyone.
No, you guys get over there. You stand over there and let them talk to you.
No. Hi everyone. My name is Arrola, and I'm part of Life Company, which is based over there. And we're a team of 8 entrepreneurs from Lane. And I'm going to present you Love It, which is a project we're developing right now for next year. So I want to start by asking how many of you know what bioconstruction is? So raise your hand if you know it, if you don't. Okay. Well, this makes me a little sad, but this is why we want to do it. So bioconstruction.
Sorry.
Yeah, much better.
So bioconstruction simply means constructing respecting nature. And this is pretty much essential for survival on the planet, and I'm going to give you a little example that you will understand. So to make up for the contamination of 20 tons of concrete, which is the average used to build a normal size house, we'll have to have 5 hectares of forest, which means we just need more forests than houses. And sadly, that's not happening right now. So we will have to build it with nature. So as I just did with you, we want to create an event to open people's eyes and make them see that there is an alternative of the problem. The first part of the event will be really focused on professionals and to have a meeting point for them to unify forces and make this change really happen. And also have a point where they can start collaborating because some of them use some techniques and some of them use different materials that they don't really work together right now. A public that doesn't really know what construction is so far. And we want to make some workshops and make it interactive and fun for them because this is something we really need. We want to make it happen. We want to achieve this at some point of life because if we keep building as we did in the past century, we're not going to be much longer in the earth, and we don't want this to happen. Maybe it's not a problem, but it will be a problem for people who will live in the earth in years. The team that's doing that right now, we're collaborating with Instituto de Habitat and the Habitat magazine, which are reference in the field right now. They are really helping us. At Lego, which is part of site. What we're looking for now in the project is to find sponsorships on someone who will help you to make this happen because we feel that there is really a need of survival. So that was the project for listening.
Good. Yeah, if you guys would.
I think it's super cool. I mean, obviously it's a big need. I'm curious about how much interaction you have, especially with the professionals. Like, where are you finding professionals? It feels like a lot of what you're doing is an education program, which I could be mistaken. I'm thinking about what resonates, or what gets a professional to change his or her behavior? If I understand.
No, yeah. Well, we're thinking of doing a 3-day event, and the first day will be only focused on the professionals. So we have a point where we can unify techniques and ideals of bioconstruction because there's already a need. We've been talking with the people we're collaborating with, and they told us that there is really a need in the field because they don't see each other usually because they're not all based in Madrid. People who have paintings and people who are building, they don't really collaborate, and at some point or another, if they don't work together, it won't be completely sustainability, bio-eco, which we're looking for. And then the other thing that will be to concern and spread awareness, everything else.
I think it's really important if you could speak a little bit about you guys, about the team, and why do you think you can make this, which is a kind of a dream that I guess some people in the world have. So what I would like to know is a little bit about you guys, because it's probably the teams are the most important thing about the company.
So I guess because we're a really different team, and some of us are really motivated into saving nature and seeing that this is really a big problem, and we need to change the mindset of the people and making them really see that there's a problem. And maybe we don't want to change or make everyone live like that, but make people want to do it. Because if there is not a willingness in everyone, it won't happen. So we are not into, also we want to learn about developing events and everything, but what pushes us is the motivation of there needs to be a changing mindset of everyone.
Does anyone want to say something or say something to Sarah? One question? Yeah, just, I think it's easier if you just...
I have a tricky question for you. Quickly. Have you thought about the fact that sometimes village images of living in the countryside with low density environments are actually much less sustainable than living in high density environments? Emergency based on the sprawl, and actually one person having one house and one in the garden actually spoil the landscape. Yeah, you need massive highways, you need millions of cars, you need gasoline, you need electricity piping to get one from into one house. While compact high-density cities, as Benidorm or as Manhattan, consume much less energy.
Yeah, but there's also possible to build these really high buildings using bioconstruction. So we're not trying to make everyone live like in the Lord of the Rings movie, but there can be cities made of natural and sustainable materials.
Absolutely, but the image you've shown,
Really financial.
so it's in the countryside, right?
Yeah, but there are lots of buildings, like really tall buildings built with this system, and they really work same as normal buildings. So we're trying to make it possible.
Thanks. So next one is Jaime from Seyon. Hello everyone. I'm Jaime. I'm a teampreneur from Seyon. This is our logo. Seyon is nine entrepreneurs, 9 different persons with different mind and with energy to change the world and create impact. Today we are not, I'm gonna talk about marketing. Not, there is a lot of type of marketing with a lot of invest, with some service, but the ones that I really like is the guerrilla marketing. And for that, I present, for me, the future of the marketing, AdFlow. AdFlow is a waterproof hydrophobic spray that with using templates like this, like that, you can do publicize, for example, restaurants or events or companies, and you just need to put the template in the floor, use the spray, and with water or shower, whatever you want, you can create like a logo to publicize what you want. And this is a we was working in Finland for the big event Slash for the big event Slash to do this logo, and we fix our we do a guerrilla marketing campaign using water balloon to throw to a big square and to show the logo of Things Our. So you can see you can create a unique experience with this, and thank you.
Thanks for sharing. I love the part of the video where the water just comes and the thing appears. I think like as your storytelling grows, having more of those sort of surprise and delightful moments, I think is going to be helpful. I'm curious about. Well, most of the time I saw you guys are the ones doing the stenciling and kind of using your product. Is the idea that eventually other people would either print this out themselves or you'd be able to them and they'd be the ones who'd be putting it all over the streets? I'm curious, I'm basically asking, have you gotten other people to use your product from kind of beginning to end, review all of these in their past?
This product, they have a lot of using. You are using your clothes to be to keep the software or whatever. But we want for this to just adult big-size companies using to show the logo, the image of the companies, and with a low price.
I would like to know who's the potential client of this, how much is he going to pay, and how are you going to compare it with other things?
It's not so much expensive. One of those templates with a big logo, for example, Slash, it's around 2,200 euros, so you can do easily. I think
how are you going to measure the impact, and how are you going to tell the users, potential buyers, that they should invest on this level?
Is it better than print? Is it better than TV? Like, how do you?
I think it's new because people are always looking the same type of marketing, like the network, the TV, the posters in the street, and this is a new way that can people stay looking more than other times or be surprised with this type of marketing.
What I think we together feel is that you should analyze the possible impact in euros, in money, in the number of people seeing it, to try to convince people to pay you. Because if not, they may not want to pay you because they won't know if this type of advertisement is going to be really powerful.
So for example, like if you could get a partner, if you could get like a partner shop or some store to use your product for 2 weeks, see if there's a rise in numbers over the previous weeks. Do some kind of comparison where you can say, hey, we started putting signs in all these places, and they got X number more customers, they made this much more money. Then you got some data that in addition to your opinion, that you can use to sell to other people. The neat thing is, like, you can do that pretty cheaply, right? You can do that over the course of a week or run an experiment.
Any questions from the audience? Any questions?
Thank you. Well, this project is just my project, so I'm going to start it.
Shall I introduce you? Or
Nah, it's not necessary. Yeah, Nostro Bike is a company we created 1 year ago. We started our main activity 6 months ago, started invoicing 6 months ago. Basically what we are is we sell alive products for agriculture. I'm going to explain a little bit what it is. Prefiero ver
Maybe not.
always problems when I present it. Last week we were the same. Es a complot against me.
Es el rey de la improvisación.
Just scroll, just we can see it.
you know, I'm saying, excuse for
Pero
this
esto
role.
no tiene sentido.
Yeah, like that.
It doesn't.
Y además está en finlandés, ¿sabes? Para mejorar está en finlandés.
Total, ayuda mucho.
So far, so good.
Yes. Is it working? Yes. All right? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a keynote alternative. Is that what
It's a
it's
keynote, I don't know. Okay. So what is the problem we saw is that you know nowadays we use too much chemicals in agriculture, and those chemicals in fact we are eating in the food we buy in our supermarkets. So what is the solution we found, or our proposal is to use biofertilizers and biopesticides. What is this? As you see, are alive, fertilizers and pesticides made of life. It's so simple. How does it work? I'm going to explain it in a simple way. Here we have Pac-Man. Pac-Man will be a biopesticide that has the natural ability to eat or to kill some fungus or some pathogens that affect to the crops. And here we have Pac-Man, like eating food, would be a biofertilizer. Some microorganism that has the natural ability to give food to the plant. Okay, this is a real example of like a real Pac-Man. You are going to see a violence movie of a fungus eating a nematode. Nematodes are a big problem in Spain, in Spanish crops. They affect the root of the plants, and the Spanish government says it causes 200 million euros in losses every year. So you are going to see a fungus, a good fungus, a Pac-Man eating this nematode. Okay. The fungus is called trichoderma, and is one of our products. It's just like that. It is the nematode. So my question for you now is this an innovation? Do you think this is something innovative? Okay, maybe yes. My personal, it is, it is, but we can understand that it is not, because these funguses in every crop, in every soil, in a healthy soil, there are fungus like this trichoderma. The thing is that due to the abuse of chemicals, we have not these beneficial fungus that are able to kill nematodes. We put too many chemicals and we kill the soil, literally, the beneficial microorganisms. So here we are some results from real clients from us. This is a disease called Yesca that affects the vineyard. Spanish government says it causes 90 million euros every year in losses. And here you see we applied a fungus in an affected plant, and after, I think it was, I don't know, maybe 1 month or 20 days, the plant is completely recovered, which is really amazing. I can tell you there is no chemical solution for this disease. There is no. Another result from an affected olive crop in Chinchon, very near here. You can see like the olive is half dead here, and after spending 2 years of our products, like I would say, like 1 month after, you see here the olive is much better. We have 400 hectares of olives affected, and we are, speaking with the mayor of the city of Chinchon, and trying to implement this treatment in all the affected crops. It was a trial. I would like to explain a little bit deeper one of our main customers, the tomato crops in greenhouses in Bernadette. They are spending on average 8,000 euros per hectare, and we propose them to reduce 50% and spend 1,000 euros in our products. So they save 3,000 euros, we save a lot of chemicals in the alimentary chain, and the results are amazing. They are, we are having a lot of orders, we have more orders than even we can serve. So we are very surprised. A little bit about just some facts that we invested 25,000 of our own money, and foods and everything. And we made our first invoice in December, and we expect to reach the 100,000 euros by next month. And yes, that is everything.
It's awesome to see your traction and things are growing. I'm curious about, still a question, line question from my friend here. It feels like as you grow, there's a lot, I don't know Spanish agriculture, but at least in the United States, there's a lot of regulation and there's a big complex system. And so I'm curious about the skill set you have on your team, and what skill set do you need that you would be looking to add on as you grow?
Well, I think we have done one mistake that Iñaki did also, that we didn't have technical people. We have some, engineer students or something like that, but not very experienced technical people, and I think we are lack of that now in the team. We are lack of many things, but one thing is that, one experienced technical person that will help us to it's very complex, but to improve in our service.
Again, technical fungus person who understands the fungus, or what's the...
Yeah. You could do that.
My question is how do you sell the product, and what is the margin of the product? Because as we see, the product is working on several examples, but how do you go to the market, and how do you sell it? And from a 100K income you're going to make in July, which I guess you're saying that this is a monthly 100K is a monthly income that.
Yearly.
Yearly. So from 100K, how much will be your margin? Because this is your margin, or the amount you're charging to the people that are buying the product.
Yes, we are charging 1,000 euros per hectare for these tomato crops, for example, and on that we are getting a margin of 500 euros. We have based on cost, we have 100. Yes.
How do you sell it? How do you go to the
Well, we go the marketing study. We go. The thing is, we have very good margins because we manufacture. We are manufacturers, and we are sellers. We don't have intermediaries. The way to reach the customer is, we do meetings with farmers. We explain our philosophy, our products, and we propose free trials. For example, in Chinchon, we did a free trial. They're only products, I would say 600 euros, which is not much, but for us it's money. And then we expect people to see the results and to join us.
Curious about the place where you grow these bags. The farm or?
Where you from?
No, it is a laboratory. It's a lab thing.
So when you sell it, is in big amounts, big amount for example,
No, for example, for one tomato crop per hectare, you need 60 liters in 3 months. No, 20 liters and 20 liters in 3 months. The tomato crops normally they last 3 months in greenhouses, and that's it.
You, for marketing, you talk with the farmers, you get meetings with the farmers, and you are thinking to talk, for example, with some DOs from Spain, for example, Dio Rioja, Dio...
That is a good possibility. We haven't done it yet. What we do also is to speak with cooperatives, and we offer them a 10% commission, and they are in charge of getting the money from the farmers, for example, which is easier for them than from us and saves us a lot of work. But we go directly to the farmer or to the cooperatives. Maybe the next step will be to talk to DO, the National Origin, and anything else? Okay, thank you. So next project is Gensi with Visual Minds. Big applause for her.
Hi, as he said, I am González. I am part of the first generation of learners here in Madrid with Enrique. And as long as we've been working and creating other projects, Visual Minds is another one of them. And yeah. So what we do, we work on communication and challenges for companies and educational institutions, basically. So how we do that? How we work with communication and challenges, different challenges. I will explain which ones later. We use visual thinking. We use also design thinking. You know about that. And of course, we create materials using graphic design. In companies, how we work with them. Usually, we carry workshops for them about visual thinking or design thinking. And also, we design processes with them. Since we've been working as a company 3 years and working with teams and developing different projects, we have experience of 3 years on developing teams, so how we can work with teams and how we can develop those different projects. So what we do is we design, along with those companies, we design different processes to face different challenges such as communication that they can give us. They present some challenge or some issue they have, and we design a process where we work with them to solve that problem, if that makes sense. Yeah. And the other thing where we work the most is in educational institutions. We also can give workshops for professors or even students, but also we design programs where they can use visual thinking and design thinking methodologies to give the classes for the students, because we think that it's much easier to learn using those tools. And as Berta says, here comes innovation in the education. So at the moment we will be working with Teamlabs in the university, which we are going to join again this July. We'll be working with Matthew also, so working on social entrepreneurship workshops. We've also been working with Telefonica and Teamlabs in Team pop-up tour for all Europe, giving entrepreneurship programs, short programs for 2 hours. Also, we've been working with Mondragon University in Team Master Asia, where we've been working facilitating the process and also documenting it for the different people that have been there with us. And we lately also started to give short workshops in entrepreneurial areas, such as US Academy, that was visual thinking workshop my teammates gave. So yeah, that's more or less what we do if anyone has any questions, suggestions, or even know someone that is interested in these kind of things, please don't hesitate to contact me.
Which is your? I always like to think on the projects as what is your next goal or your where do you have the biggest problem you need to solve and how are you going to solve it? Because maybe what I feel when I see the foundation is that you have it solved and you probably the only problem is getting more practice. So what are the things you want to do when they're being difficult for you guys?
For us, the most difficult thing is to make companies and institutions understand that this is something they can use, they can take advantage. So the most difficult thing is that to present this and tell them, okay, this is something you can use and you can incorporate to your processes.
So I'm curious about, I don't know if it's an intention or an opportunity, but you said you will design processes for them. And I'm curious about how, but these are processes that bring them in, so that you guys are working with them. How much of that is to solve a specific problem versus develop the capacity to do this themselves? So, right, in one sense, you can come in to solve. You're more of a consultancy where you're using design to solve problems. The other, you're more of an education group. You're helping them learn to do things themselves. I'm curious, how do you play that spectrum? If that makes sense.
Of course, when we work with them, we cannot teach them or show them how we do everything, but our aim is to work with them, teach them which tools are the most efficient for them, but try to help them to understand why are those and give them the tools to continue learning on those things. Not only just to work with us and forget about it, but to kind of see who use it.
How is that working? I found it to be very tough when people leave the building, or when you leave the building, there's an existing culture, right, that's still there. So I'm curious, like, how have you explored this? How can you support this work after you leave? If that makes sense. Like, you're planting a seed. Like, what happens when you're not around to water it? You encourage it.
Okay, in those cases it depends. Sometimes they forget about it because, okay, it works for us, so just leave it and we will ask you next time. But on the other hand, they've been like some students and they've been really interested in it and they were asking us, emailing us, and they were trying to I don't know if they actually used the methodology after that, but they feel the curiosity for it.
I'll be sure some things that we've done to afterwards.
Sorry?
I'll get in touch afterwards.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions? No? Thank you.
Thanks. So next project is Veronica Robert and Coco.
I am Veronica from Coco, that is the team company from the second generation of Master Yourself. And I am currently participating together with Irene and Rafa, that is in Granada, in this project that is called Viste con Coco. So, Viste con Coco came up from our workshops and investigations doing during the master, where we go through our passions and do some research about trends. And then we came across with the team together. We have different things in common. Those ones that we see here, that we have passion for fashion, interest in responsible consumption and sharing economy, and we're all willing learn by doing. So we needed to find a problem that we wanted to solve. And then we remember several situations like this one that I'm going to show you. For example, that you go walking on the street and then suddenly you see a store window and you look at a very nice dress that says, oh, I want it. And then you see the price and say, well, it's too expensive. Last week I already buy one, so I don't want to buy one another week. And then next week it's going to happen the same, because you're going to see again a very nice sweater, a very nice shirt, or something that you say, no, I can't afford it. Or for example, you receive an invitation for a dinner, or for an interview, or for a date, and then you go to your closet, open it, see everything, and it's full of clothes, but nothing is valid for you for that day. So it's like, I cannot find anything. So we decided to change that. We wanted to change the way we consume fashion. And then we decided to create d.school, that apart from helping consumers, also helps designers. Because in our investigation and research, we found that many designers in Spain needs more exposure to the market. So we wanted to join that, and we created a service that allows people to rent unique garments from emerging design in an easy, secure, and affordable way. Also provide to the designer the possibility to have. We are launching our first prototype on July the 1st. We are collecting 50 very interesting and attractive garments from different designers, and we are looking for 20 very brave women that can join us in this test. Why 20? Because we want to make it in a small group of people where we can have feedback after the test, and we can do some kind of conversation and understand how the test was, how was it going, it was good, or hear their impressions, and build on top of that our next version of the next system. We have created a website, and it's going to be launched on July the 1st. If anyone is ready to join us in this adventure or have any other question or suggestion, you are welcome to come to me after the talk. Thank you very much.
I think it's super cool. One of my favorite things is that you are setting up an experiment to learn as much as you can. And I'm curious, not from the value that you should do this versus that, but how come you are looking for volunteers versus like trying to find, like choose your market? I'm just kind of curious why you make that decision. It seems really interesting to me.
Well, we have made so many interviews, so many surveys. So we have already some leads, and also we are promoting it in our social networks. We are using the list that we have before for our research, and the new list that we get from our social network. Yes.
So if I understood it correctly, you are the place where first girls would like to buy or use a garment from somebody, from a nice designer, just rent it. Okay, great. How are you going to solve two problems? I don't know if probably the moment is not right now, but I guess you're going to have two problems. One is if the clothes is going to fit me, somebody's going to send it to me, and if I guess you're going to need to buy these garments, at least some, so you can rent them. And how are you going to solve how much money you're going to need, because if you will need to stock like kind of a lot of products if you're going to serve a lot of girls in several sizes.
Well, yeah, I think I forgot something that's important. Designers will have a home for renting. So we are not own the stock. controlled by the designer. Or a particular people that wants to rent a special garment that they have. So you talk about the size. So this is a challenge that we have been talking a lot, because we need to. We cannot put like S and L only, because we are going to have many different kinds of. So we are trying to create like a special, what we call ficha de producto, card that somehow can put the measures to different important places of the people, so they can see if it can fit. But yes, it's a challenge.
Maybe an idea would be to try to rent those things that do not need to be fitted, as a purse or a hat or gloves or shoes, or maybe not suits, because suits should be the big problem for the girls, I guess.
One other question. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. And the last project is Gabi from Coco. Welcome.
No, Heidi.
No, last one.
Well, I'm Gabriel, or Gabi, from Coco, which is the second team from the second generation of Master Bishop. It's the same as same idea as Wayne, but for a little bit older people. Yeah, almost. And compressing 1 year. And well, our first goal, learning by making, a lot of the things I'm going to tell you could be, it sounds very similar to what Veronica has told us about the methodology. I wanted to start talking about something a little bit personal about me. When I was a little kid, one of the best memories I have, the best memories, was my grandfather. Every Saturday we had a very big lunch, and every Saturday he had a little Lego box for me. It was great for me, and my parents always complained when he was miseducating me that I loved to do something to build the Lego. But the best part was to see him observing me, because he enjoyed looking at me, because I was very good. And every Saturday was the same, and I started to get bored of following instructions. So I just get rid of them, get rid of the book, and try to build the model just looking at the picture. That was a very big learning for me, because there was something emotional in it. When I started to grow up and go to the school and receive more abstract learnings, I realized that I had that Lego brain on my mind. There was even now when I think in even or number or even as abstraction perspective, there are Lego bricks somewhere in memory. I just model my learning centuries. I don't recommend anybody else to do that, but at the same time I think we all should have some kind of that kind of strategy in their mind to get their learnings. We have an emotional need to model how to learn things and to be desired to like to learn new things. I'm telling you this project because of the same thing Veronica was telling you. In Teamlabs, we developed the projects we are trying to do in the teams in that funny little rockets that were design thinking guru Marta has called Rocket Ninja Power. In the base, the fuel are our patients. One side are the problems or challenges we see in the society and that concern us, and by the other side are the trends or the innovative ways we see we could fit and we could take advantage of it. And that's what we have done in learning by making. We, the team composed by Thea, Arrola, here we are, share that communication on the making things and on the content about how do we learn, how do people learn, and the process that are behind. Why? Because one of the problems we see in the society right now is that everything has changed at an amazing pace all the world around us. For example, the jobs that are more needed than we can offer right now didn't exist just 15 or 20 years ago. Everything has changed, but one thing remains the same, is education. We have the same kind of education system that was in the middle of the 20th century. And that's a big problem. There are a lot of initiatives that are trying to solve it in very amazing ways. And we really believe we can cooperate there, collaborate, and do something there. We really like to do that. That's our vision from the problem we see. What trends and innovative ways to do that we see? By hand, that's probably familiar to you. We took that picture some months ago at the d.school. The human-centered innovation techniques are an amazing way of developing projects and services, focusing on the user needs. And the Teacher Lab, for example, is doing an amazing job and it's a sort of inspiration for us. By the other way is the making trend. It's a very powerful trend. It's every day bigger, and the three of us are very, very passionate about it. What we want to do, what learning by making is about this to combine human-centered innovation applied to the learning processes and the making. Why making? Because we think that making something with your hands is a more fulfilling way to learn something. You touch it, you try to do it, you get frustrated with that, you iterate, and when you finally get it, you get an emotional link with that microphone. Besides the real quality of the final result. And that's what we want to combine. We are developing workshops for children and to teenagers from our side. Probably the most important thing we are trying to do training for trainers in the field. And what we recently have thought about is that we are making training for entrepreneurs to make collaborative work and dynamics, good dynamics in how to cooperate and to make collaborative work. But our main goal is not to teach creative technologies like education or robotics, 3D printing or coding, but to use it as a tool to make workshops where the kids have to solve creatively complex problems. We have to see how to collaborate and doing a teamwork or that kind of thing that made a better way to reflect about how do you learn to find that kind of path that I have in myself, and that could be a great help for a more fulfilling learning. And finally, our last big picture of our final goal is to build a community all around, to get a community or global network where we can share knowledges and techniques, and we want to invite you to join us in that sort of join us to introduce you at the school, talking with the Teacher Lab and the Spark Track project. It's a band that travel around the US spreading creative technologies, and it was a very big level because it has a little bit trying to teach the teachers that are not already aware of the creative technologies but are receiving the materials. This is like the new trend with the new face in the schools to buy a 3D printer. They are trying to provide content about making, but not with a maker idea in mind, something like a scary thing, but just to making that kind of thing more accessible. That's one of our ideas. The other one is to try to make work being a worker in that kind of content. So in the maker things we have been makers, just so not in that kind of little community, a little bit close.
of the same of the question, the same question as he did, but the fact is that probably you have the same problem as this organization and this type of techniques that people need to understand that they should use it because they will make sense for whatever they're developing. How do you the fact is that if I was going to start a company like this one, my big problem would be to make money, because I get scheduled to want to make money with this, not only teaching, but especially only learning and teaching. But how are you going to make this? Because or how long do you get to acquire one time?
Well, the funny thing is that some of the things we can develop are already a business model. We want to innovate, not to do what the people is doing right now, because educational robotics, for example, or Scratch coding, the visual program philosophy in data humanity, are being picking the curriculum in the schools very fast. Next year, a lot of schools will have that kind of classes, so it's like a market already. But the kind of contents they are providing are very, very old-fashioned, so they just a change of the head. So you want to apply not just the content, but using the content to make a more fulfilling learning. So one of the business model could be just be a competitor in that field. It's not necessarily the kind of thing you have. You have a product very similar to the startup. You have called Teamlabs. It's a balance. It's going to be on the road this summer. It can be a sponsored philosophy. It's one of the possibilities. So we are working on it, and at the moment we made a business model canvas, trying to figure out where to follow. We are in that section.
Sorry. No,
Es que no.
Did I scare you off?
No creo que llegue. Si hablas alto. Vale.
Lego simulator. Have you started the methodology and so on?
We have not really, we've been trying to see the different possibilities. Our main goal was trying to use those open source creative theories, and I'm very Lego fan of the tools. This is expensive thing, so we are trying to see the benefits and using Lego where it's really useful because it's a very fast developing tool, for example. But at the same time, in robotics, for example, talking about a kit about 370 euros, it's so expensive, and of course it's an amazing tool. Thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? Okay, so thank you very much everyone for coming.
For those of you who made it all the way to the key, thank you so much. And just to remind you that this isn't simply an opportunity for all of us to hear phenomenal presentations, and for you to hear about projects that are being done by our team brewers. This is an opportunity for us to grow as an ecosystem and community. So thank you so much for coming and joining us, and hopefully you'll come back real soon and join us.